She started getting her nails done and she was buying all these high fashion clothes that she'd drive into the city to get. I mean, I'm not fashionista, by any means. I couldn't tell you one designer from something you'd get at Walmart. But the clothes she was wearing were racking up the visa. Not that she wasn't paying it down, but I knew the amount that she was spending on clothes when the bills would come in, and it was more than she had ever spent on clothes in about 5 or so years. I tried to be supportive. She told me that this job was all about image and standard. She said no one was going to take her seriously selling ladies' makeup and cosmetics when she was looking like she came off the farm. The way she had explained it did make sense at the time. I thought, hey, who am I to tell her what she can and can't do with her money? Anyways, this job allowed her to travel and work from home. The money she was bringing in allowed us to take trips here and there, but nothing too crazy. I mean, we weren't a Disneyland family. We had been to the Grand Canyon and to Joshua Tree, but nothing far beyond that. When she traveled all over for conferences and meetings and whatnot, she'd go to Miami, Las Vegas, San Francisco, and New Orleans, just to name a few. I mean, big enough cities that they seemed a bit overwhelming to a redneck like me. But when Jo would come back home, she'd be full of life. And it was so great to see Jo fresh and revitalized. I honestly felt really happy for her. Now, I can't remember exactly when this was, but I think it might have been around November when she came to me and told me that there was a man, I'll call him Dong, who had recently started with the company. I thought it was weird to have a man in there selling ladies' makeup and what have you when the company was primarily women, but I thought, hey, times are changing. She said that he was a sales director and wasn't actually selling the products himself but that they had brought him in to expand the company. She said that he had come up with this big idea to compensate those who had made the top sales of the year for a trip to Mexico in February. I thought, sweet, we're going to Mexico. Both of us had never been. Then she breaks the news to me that it's only for people from the company and friends and family aren't allowed. I was like, that's bizarre. But I thought that since it was the farthest they've ever gone for something like that, it made sense that they couldn't afford to offer the trip to family as well. Family has been invited out to other things before this, but nothing as extravagant as Mexico. So surprise, Jo ends up being the top saleswoman in her region. And because of that, she was rewarded with this trip to Mexico. Apparently she was one of 10 ladies, plus a few regional directors and top folk in the company, including Dom. February pops up, she goes on this trip. I hardly hear from her in the time that she's gone, but this isn't out of the ordinary when she's away for work. I also told her to go and relax and have fun, so I wasn't hurt or anything when I didn't hear from her because I knew she was trying to unplug. I go to pick her up from the airport when she gets back and on the drive home, all I hear is Dom this and Dom that. Apparently he's 43, never been married, he's from Los Angeles and works remotely. She said that this was the first time she actually met him in person. She said that he used to work as a car salesman. Apparently he was tall, dark, handsome, and knew how to dress himself. She admires how driven he is and he really listens to her and what she has to say. Plus, he's incredibly charming and they just drank at the poolside bar and played beach volleyball the whole time. I didn't want to seem against it all, but the way she was talking about him really rubbed me the wrong way. On one hand, I knew that she was happy and having fun and I was proud of her professional growth. But on the other hand, just the way she was talking about it made me uneasy. Something just seemed beyond professional about it. Then again, I wasn't used to Jo really working. Not that working on the farm wasn't working, but we worked side by side, with each other. I thought that maybe these feelings I was having were just jealousy since I hadn't actually seen her work in a type of environment that wasn't on the farm, like a corporate type. Fast forward a bit to April. I came inside to find this package on our kitchen table. It's addressed to Jo and I see that the sender says Dom. / I decide to leave it there and see if my wife says anything about receiving something from him at dinner. Over dinner, I see that she's wearing this new fancy watch that I don't recall her saying she's purchased herself. Usually she's pretty keen on showing off what she's bought. I ask her about her watch and she says that it just came in today and it's a gift from her company for all of her hard work. I asked her if it was from anyone in particular from her company and she said nope, just a group, thank you. I didn't question any further but I knew she was lying. I knew it had nothing to do with work because her company usually sends things like that in company branded wrapping or letterhead. This straight up looked like Dom had packed it personally. Later that night, we were laying in bed and I decided to ask her.